Hello, you guys, and thank y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of Talk About It Thursday here on the Journey Podcast, where I am your host, Kiara. As per usual, I'm excited to spend time with you guys. We're going to try something a little different this week. We're going to go ahead and jump into this week's episode and leave the announcements for the back end. So grateful to have be for. Okay, hold on. I'm so grateful to be joined by you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This week we're going to talk about distractions. Ooh. So let's go ahead and dive right on into distractions. So what is a distraction? Distraction is a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. Also, an extreme agitation of the mind or emotions. So here we are taking on a new journey, and there are gonna it's to be expected that there are gonna be things and people that come up along the way that are gonna be a distraction. And so you have to be able to identify, like I said, people and things. You're gonna have to be able to identify what is a distraction and what is a tool, because some or a resource, because some things that come up are going to be things that you need. Some people that come along are going to be people that are resourceful, are necessary on the journey. But then again, there are going to be those things that come up, like familiar spirits, that kind of keep you in the cycle of what it is that you're trying to grow from, or who it is that you're trying to grow from. And you have to be able to identify that. For myself, because I like to speak for myself, I don't know why, but I I have things that come up that just kind of get me a little ruffled. Like, it'll be, I'll be fine. I would have been fine like months before, or whatever the case may be. And then there'll be like some random car trouble, or there'll be like, something like with the kids, just an attitude change, or just something in the household that just kind of is disruptive. And so I had to learn to identify when when it was a distraction, and when it was a lesson to be learned that could be helpful along the way in the journey. As far as people, I think that sometimes people are drawn to the light that that may show when you're on a journey, when you're going somewhere good. It's like, oh, look, that person's going somewhere good. Let's attach ourselves to them. And so you have to be able to discern. Just because somebody can quote Bible verses off of the top of their head, does not make them somebody that is supposed to be on the journey with you. Some of these people are people that are trying to manipulate you into doing something that may not be your calling, may not be in the direction that you're in. And when I say manipulate, I don't mean like they're just trying to they see you, they see you and they see where you're going. And maybe instead of you thriving in your own journey, they're like, oh, you know what, I could use you, come over here. Don't Just stop doing what you're doing, stop doing what you felt like you were called to do, and come and be a part of what I want to do. And come and be a part of, come and be a tool that I can use, and come and be resourceful to me, and put aside what put aside where you're going, and come with me. And so as and you have to be firm, you have to be focused, you have to know, hey, you know what, this is a distraction right now. Unfortunately, I can't afford to be disobedient on my own calling. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go on your journey with you, because I have a journey that I'm taking on myself. And so also, there are going to be people that are in a dark place that are drawn to your light. And because they're in a dark place, they when they see light, they come and they attach themselves to you. Some of those people are going to be ready to go on the journey that you're on, whether it's a healing journey, whether it's a journey to better finances, or whatever the case may be. Some of them are going to be ready to go. However, there are going to be some people that are going to drag their feet and that are going to make you feel accountable for the fact that they aren't ready, the fact that they are creating a sense of frustration or a sense of distraction along the way. And so they're gonna come and they're gonna say, hey, I thought you were supposed to be helping me. I thought you were supposed to be someone that I could use, someone that I could benefit from. And that could be the case, but in a sense where you're not holding their hand and you're simply leaving them behind and thriving in their faces. And when I say that, I don't want it to sound bad, but when I say thriving in their faces, they need to see somebody, what it looks like for somebody to be tuned in and somebody to be joyful in their face. They need to see what it looks like for somebody to be aligned with their calling and with their purpose and with their goals and with their dreams, because they need that as an influence. And so while it may feel bad that, oh man, I left such and such behind, such and such had a good spirit. They were I know that they needed help. The help they need sometimes is to see you focus. Is to see you do well, is to see you be great. It is simply just that, helping somebody does not always look like holding their hand. It doesn't always look like picking them up every time they fall down. Sometimes helping somebody looks like leaving them behind, leaving them where they are, and saying, you know what, at one point we were walking together, but here it is. I stayed focused while you couldn't, and I had to go ahead of you. I had to show you what it looks like to be obedient, to be the best version of myself. I had to be the best version of myself in your face so that you could want to be the best version of yourself. And so you look at it, they look at it like, oh man, such and such think they're better than me, they left me behind or whatever. And they probably won't say that you left them behind, but they went on about their business, they went on about their life, and that could, and I'm not saying that it always does, but that could motivate them to do exactly what it was that you did. And it is not so much that they are a distraction, but they could be a distraction, because while you don't want to leave your friends behind and you want to help people, sometimes helping people looks like letting go of their hand, and letting them take their journey after you. And like I always see these posts about how it's important to clap for others. And so while you're clapping for them, take notes, take notes as to like, how did they get where they were going? At some point they had to maintain, throughout that whole thing, they had to maintain focus. They had to focus. And so now it's a time to look at where you are and identify things. I feel like a lot of the journeys that I talk about have to do with being able to identify and call things what they are versus accepting them for what for what we want them to be. I've been tripping up over my word. I've been tripping up over my words a lot lately, guys. I don't know why. I feel like someone, I'm not gonna say who it was, but someone asked me why I use some of the words that I use, and and I just now I'm more conscious. I'm like, what words do I use that are like not appropriate or not like words that are normally used by people? And so And so the person was like, you just use words that's like, come on now, you could have just said that in a simpler version. And I was like, distraction. This is a distraction right here. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. Sometimes people need you to focus in their face and just be the best version of yourself. While they continue to hold on to bad habits, cycles that need to be broken. You are not, and I want to say this right. You are not responsible for somebody else's journey. You're not responsible for the path that somebody else's take. That's somebody else's. That somebody else takes. You're not responsible for their timeline on their journey, and so you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with detaching yourself from people that are still um and when I say still, I mean still doing the same thing that they were doing, still accepting the same things that they were accepting, still who they were 5-10 years ago. um you have to accept the fact that some people are just that they're still, and it's not that they're going to be still and stagnant for forever, but sometimes you helping them looks like you leaving them where they are. And like I said, don't let them don't let them say these quotes or say these social media posts or share these social media posts that real friends don't leave you behind, real friends go with you through the storm, real friends do this, or say these Bible verses. I don't know how many of you have watched the movie Sinners, but anybody can quote a Bible verse. Anybody can quote a Bible verse. In the movie Sinners, the enemy was quoting a Bible verse. When the guy was praying, the enemy knew the Our Father prayer just as well as the child of God. And so do not let that be a distraction. Do not let those posts that they share affirm or confirm anything for you. That is a distraction, and you have to stay focused. And it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. You're gonna have a hard time accepting the fact that your peer, someone that you are very close with, someone that you might consider as maybe like a sister, brother. It's sometimes gonna be family. Sometimes it's gonna be your parents. Sometimes it's gonna be your grandma. Sometimes it's gonna be people that need your light, and sometimes you're gonna have to, instead of holding their hand through their journey, just because you're on the same journey doesn't mean you have the same timeline, and just because you have the same journey doesn't mean that you're going to meet your destination at the same time. Who's to say that your journey, although it's the same as mine, we're not going different places? You know, we don't have different destinations overall. And so with that being said, guys, we have to learn to identify a distraction. We have to learn to stay obedient, to stay focused, because the cost of disobedience is so much more than just doing what it was that you knew you were supposed to do in the first place. Does that make sense? Uh, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So I feel like that's good. Um, you have to learn to call things what they are. I mean, I know we like to add a little fluff and say, you know what? Maybe this isn't that. Is, maybe this person needs me right now and I need to stop what I'm doing and be there. And so, that doesn't always look like being there for somebody. It doesn't always look like stopping what you're doing. Um, Sometimes being there looks like focusing and letting go of the person's hand that you were holding, even if you were holding it for a long time. Because sometimes holding that person's hand is what's holding you back. I think it's safe to say that. Sometimes holding someone that's not ready to take on the journey that you're taking on, even though they're on the same or a similar journey, and you could be of some resource for them. Sometimes you have to be resourceful by letting them do it on their own. Show and tell, or show and follow. So I show you what I'm doing. You see me thriving. You see me, you see what the fruits of obedience looks like. And so you follow that. And so it's up to you. It's up to them to make that decision for themselves. You can't make people come with you. You can't make people get up and walk. You can't force somebody to be ready for what you're ready for. And so with that being said, we do have homework. Your homework, guys. Let me know a time where you feel like someone or something was a distraction, and it may have caused you to lose focus, even if for just a little while, or even if for some years. You know that you know what it was that you wanted to do, and you felt that urge to go ahead, start the journey, start the working on who you were called to be, and you got distracted. Also, I want to also add that sometimes a distraction looks like familiar situations, familiar spirits, familiarity. Sometimes a distraction is saying, you know what, I can just go back to. It's just those thoughts, those intrusive thoughts that make you feel like, you know what, it's easier to just go back to what I was doing and just start some other time. That too is a distraction. And like I said, you're gonna meet people with those familiar spirits that, they're gonna come along, and you're like, oh, we could be friends because I know how to deal with people like you. Or it can be a relationship. Oh, let's get together because you're the type of person that you are. That's my type. That's, that sometimes your type is not okay. That's not what you're supposed to be with. Sometimes your type is not even it's not even okay. So again, let's try to use our discernment to eliminate distractions along the way on the journey, whatever the journey is that you're on. I don't care if it's becoming an author. I don't care if it's becoming a parent, becoming a better version of yourself, business journey, and so forth and so on. Whatever the journey is, learn to identify the distractions along the way, because like I said, they are going to come, and they are going to try to knock you off your path. Sometimes the path is real narrow. But you have to be obedient. You have to be focused, and you have to know when, and to just say, you know what, no, we're not doing that. That's not a part of my journey right now. And you also have to learn how to identify resources from things that are just distractions. And so with that being said, that is the episode today, guys. I know it wasn't like that long, but I really think that that's the simple of it. I don't want to add any fluff around it. I want it to be straight to the point. I want it to be I don't want anything around it to be a distraction to what the message is today. And so happy Thursday to you guys. I hope that you guys are having the best day and the best week as well. I'm having an okay week. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I feel like I'm working on so much stuff. And so I'm just taking my time this week, and I'm appreciating every single moment of this journey that I'm on. because I'm so grateful. So yeah, guys, that's it. The announcements, guys. The announcements are going to be available for you guys on the website at thejourneypodcast.life. I do hope that you guys are visiting the website. I can see I can see how many visits on the website we have. And so yeah, per usual, thank you guys. Thank you to everyone that has encouraged me along this journey that I'm on, the podcast journey. Thanks to those that tune in faithfully. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. And I pray and hope that you guys have the best week. I pray that you're able to identify the distractions that this week has to offer on your journey, and I pray that you can stay focused. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.